At my husband's 40th birthday dinner, his college friend pulled me aside and told me she'd seen him on the news. Not recently, years ago, before I knew him. I laughed and asked what channel. She didn't laugh back. That's the kind of pause that changes things. We've been together 6 years, married for 3. I knew his coffee order, his sleep schedule, the exact way he went quiet when something was bothering him. His name was Thomas. Tom to everyone who loved him. And I thought I was the person who loved him most. His friend's name was Claire. She'd known him since they were 20. She pulled me toward the hallway, away from the music and the clinking glasses, and said, "Have you ever looked up his real last name?" I told her I didn't know what that meant. She showed me her phone. It was a court document. Public record. 7 years old. The name at the top wasn't Calloway. The name I'd taken. The name on our mortgage. The name I'd written on our daughter's school forms. The name was Thomas Brent Maddox. I'd never heard it before in my life. Claire scrolled down. There was a newspaper piece beneath it. Local coverage from a small town in Ohio. The headline read, "Key witness in fraud case vanishes ahead of sentencing." The photo was unmistakably Tom. Younger, heavier, a different haircut, but his eyes were identical. My chest went hollow. He was supposed to testify, Claire said quietly, against his own uncle, a real estate fraud scheme. Wiped out retirement savings from dozens of families. Tom was the inside man. Then, 3 weeks before the trial, he disappeared. His uncle walked on a technicality. I handed her the phone back. I couldn't hold it anymore. I went back to the table. 32 candles on a chocolate cake. Tom with his arm around our daughter, grinning while everyone sang. I watched his face the way you watch something you're trying to memorize before it's gone. After the guests left, I called my cousin. She works in financial litigation. I kept my voice even. I gave her the name, the real one. She called back in 40 minutes. The uncle did 18 months eventually, on a separate charge, but the original victims never got anything back. Tom's testimony would have changed that. I sat with that for a long time. When Tom came to bed, I was still awake. I told him what I knew. He went completely still. That particular stillness that means someone is deciding how much of the truth they owe you. He told me everything. The threats. His uncle's associates showing up at his apartment. The night he drove 12 hours with a bag and a burner phone and became someone else entirely. He said he'd been planning to tell me before the wedding. Then after. Then he just kept waiting for a moment that never arrived. "I was afraid you'd see me as someone who ran," he said. "You did run," I told him. "I know." We didn't sleep. By morning, he'd contacted the DA's office in Ohio. By the following week, he'd given a full recorded statement. 2 families have since filed renewed civil claims. He's still Tom to me, but I needed him to finally be Thomas too. Some people don't hide because they're guilty. They hide because they're scared. The difference matters, but so does eventually coming out of hiding.